Shravanam Diaries podcast.
Hare Krishna, we are continuing to read Bhagavad Gita as it is the book by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, chapter 16, the Divine and Demoniac Natures, texts 11 and 12. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashritah kamopa bhoga parama etavaditi nishchitah ashapasha shaterbadha kamakrodha parayana ihante kamabhogartam anyayenartha sanchayan. They believe that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Purport: the demoniac accept that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life, and this concept they maintain until death. They do not believe in life after death, and they do not believe that one takes on different types of bodies according to one's karma or activities in this world. Their plans for life are never finished, and they go on preparing plan after plan, all of which are never finished. We have personal experience of a person of such demoniac mentality who, even at the point of death, was requesting the physician to prolong his life for 4 years more because his plans were not yet complete. Such foolish people do not know that a physician cannot prolong life even for a moment. When the notice is there is no consideration of the man's desire. The laws of nature do not allow a second beyond what one is destined to enjoy. The demoniac person who has no faith in God or the supersoul within himself performs all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. He does not know that there's a witness sitting within his heart. The supersoul is observing the activities of the individual soul. As it is stated in the Upanishads, there are 2 birds sitting in one tree. One is acting and enjoying or suffering the fruits of the branches, and the other is witnessing. But one who is demoniac has no knowledge of Vedic scripture, nor has he any faith. Therefore, he feels free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of the consequences. Texts 13 to 15. Idam madhyamaya labdam imam prapsye manoratham idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam asau maya hata shatrur hanishye cha paran api ishvaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi adyo bhijanavan asmi konyosti sadrisho maya yakshye dasyami modishya ityagyana vimohita. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Now, it's really interesting, like this particular... Some people would actually consider this to be quite positive affirmations, right? But in actuality, this is how a demoniac person thinks. Now, it doesn't mean that saintly or divine nature, or divine people, or transcendentalists, or spiritual people, good people, that they don't have wealth, or they don't have happiness, or like they don't have abundance, or they don't have any power, or it's not that. It's just this mentality, like it has to be seen in the context, right? It's godless, it's selfish, it's completely without considering the consequences, without considering next life. It's gross sense enjoyment. So yeah, this is important to understand. Okay, text 16. Aneka chitta vibranta moha jala samavritah prasaktah kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chao. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Right? This is the point, that it's just a network of illusions, right? Because this whole Bhagavad Gita teaches you that you're not this body, and your ultimate happiness has nothing to do with this body. That sense enjoyment is not ultimate happiness. In fact, it's just it only leads to misery, and it's really nothing in comparison to the eternal bliss of spirituality and relationship with Krishna, with the Supreme Lord. But considering yourself to be powerful and happy and how do you call it, thriving while being fully bodily conscious, godless, without understanding that you're part and parcel of the Lord, it's just delusional. It's complete delusion. It has nothing to do with reality. And that's why, like, we just read how this person thinks, and then here, next verse, it explains what is the reality. You can think like that, but in actuality, you would be perplexed by anxieties and bound in this network of illusions. And this is true. You never met anxious-free demoniac person. Like it's something like, that happiness, like when you spit saliva into somebody else's eyes, like, I'm happy. Are you really? It's like, okay. Because you're too strongly attached, and you're committing too many sinful activities, and you're just gliding down into hell. Although some people do it more graciously than the others, but it doesn't change the fact where you're going. Purport. The demoniac man knows no limit to his desire to acquire money. That is unlimited. He thinks only of how much assessment he has just now, and schemes to engage that stock of wealth further and further. For that reason, he does not hesitate to act in any sinful way, and so deals in the black market for illegal gratification. He is enamored by the possessions he has already, such as land, family, house, and bank balance, and he is always planning to improve them. He believes in his own strength. He does not know that whatever he is gaining is due to his past good deeds. He is given an opportunity to accumulate such things, but he has no conception of past causes. He simply thinks that all his mass of wealth is due to his own endeavor. A demoniac person believes in the strength of his personal work, not in the law of karma. According to the law of karma, a man takes his birth in a high family or becomes rich or very well educated or very beautiful because of good work in the past. The demoniac think that all these things are accidental and due to the strength of one's personal ability. They do not sense any arrangement behind all the varieties of people, beauty, and education. Anyone who comes into competition with such a demoniac man is his enemy. There are many demoniac people, and each is enemy to the others. This enmity becomes more and more deep because between persons, then between families, then between societies, and at last between nations. Therefore, there is constant strife, war, and enmity all over the world. Each demoniac person thinks that he can live at the sacrifice of all others. Generally, a demoniac person thinks of himself as the supreme God, and a demoniac preacher tells his followers, "Why are you seeking God elsewhere? You are all yourselves God. Whatever you like, you can do. Don't believe in God. Throw away God. God is dead." These are the demoniac's preachings. Although the demoniac person sees others equally rich and influential, or even more so, he thinks that no one is richer than he, and that no one is more influential than he. As far as promotion to the higher planetary systems is concerned, he does not believe in performing yagyas or sacrifices. Demons think that they will manufacture their own process of yagya and prepare some machine by which they will be able to reach any higher planet. The best example of such a demoniac man was Ravana. He offered a program to the people by which he would prepare a staircase so that anyone could reach the heavenly planets without performing sacrifices, such as prescribed in the Vedas. Yeah, Ravana wanted to build a staircase to heaven. Okay. Similarly, in the present age, such demoniac men are striving to reach the higher planetary systems by mechanical arrangements. These are examples of bewilderment. The result is that without their knowledge, they're gliding toward hell. Here the Sanskrit word is mohajala, is very significant. Jala means net, like fish caught in a net. They have no way to come out. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The book links, previous episodes timeline, and biography of the author can be found on shravanamdiaries.com. The link is in the description, and we shall see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna